It is an honor to interview Jason Barwick this evening. You're one of the young section of the Brew. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, first of all, we would like to know, how did you start as a musician? How did you become a brewer?
From being 5 years old.
When you were 5?
Guitar. Yes.
Okay.
But was obsessed with music from being 2 years old, and just always wanted to play the guitar, and now fortunately enough I can do this as my job. It's great.
Okay. Now another one. Parents often tell their children that music is a dead end. This wasn't obviously your case, but how was the Brew born? How did the project arrive? How did it go to life?
Basically, obviously Tim and Kurt, they formed the band. And Kurt was around 15, 16, and they had a guitar player at the time. I knew of the band. It used to be called Strange Brew before in town, and I always heard a lot about these, especially hearing about the drummer, which is Kurt. And the guitar, to cut the long story short, the guitar player left, and they were looking for guitar players in the town, and I was put forward. As I'd met Tim before, he'd been at one of my shows when I was I was about 14 years old, and he said I played with Brew, with Strange Brew, and basically I went for an audition, and I got the job. I got the gig, but I still don't know if I've actually got the gig by them, because they never said, "Oh, by the way, you've got you're in the band now." So I've been doing an audition for the last 12 years.
Okay. Well, what an experience. Okay, another question. In 2006, your first album was released, The Brew.
Yeah.
How were those first songs written? Has the composing process changed throughout the years?
No, it hasn't actually. It's still the same, really. How we write and how we've always written is basically we will be jamming. One of us will come up with a riff. We get together. We jam. We play. Sometimes we even write stuff on stage during shows. We jam and it forms into a song. We think, oh, that was good, and we gauge the audience reaction. And what we do is we sit down and we write some lyrics. Tim is the obvious lyricist, and then if he's unsure about something, he'll come and ask us, like, what do you think about this line? Shall we try this? Shall we try that? And then that's how the creative process works.
Okay, that's really cool. And in the early beginnings of the band, Tim was the singer. Now, Jason, when did you take up the microphone, and why did you do it?
It's strange, really. I think I never really was a singer. Well, I didn't think I could sing. I just used to scream and hope it was in tune. But basically, I started doing backing vocals during the first album. And then I just thought, well, there's a song called The Joker, and it just seemed to suit my voice. And that's when I entered the world of singing, because it really worked out. It sounded nice, so we decided to focus more on me being the vocalist than Tim. It just seemed to work. But The Joker was really the big one.
Recognition knocked at your door pretty soon. That same year, the It's Only Rock and Roll fanzine chose you as the best rock and roll band, and your album was well received by the critics. How can one handle such an enormous success when you're only 16 or 17 years old?
We were just very grateful, because obviously it's a dream come true for anybody who puts their life into music. And we just kind of took it in our stride, and because we were a band that just always wants to be better. We always want to do the best we can. So to us, it was a fantastic, opportunity. It was great that it was well received, and that's because of the fans listening to it. So we just thought, right, well, let's write another album and make it better. It wasn't like, woo, we're rock stars, and that was it. We just wanted to strive to please the fans and keep playing music. It was great.
And at the pace of an album per year, in April 2007, you released Fate and Time EP, and
Yes,
in August of the following year, The Joker. By that time, you started a tour around Europe. In those first concerts, were you surprised by the way you were received in any country? There was something special?
Yeah, there was definitely a vibe going on. Definitely, yeah. It was there was a big excitement about the band, definitely, and you could see it straight away, and we felt it. Which, you know, the tour was a huge success, and it led to where we are now as a band.
But was there a country where it was special?
It's hard to say really. Because when we first started, definitely the Netherlands that's where we started on the European tour when we first started coming. The Netherlands and Belgium, and then in fact we recorded the Joker in Belgium, and then we worked our way on through into Germany, and then it became and then obviously to Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, at the time it was Holland and Belgium that was really happening for us.
And you concluded this first phase with a live DVD recorded in Belgium that you just mentioned before. And even though you were quite young, you already had a lot of experience behind you. But that precise night, before going on stage, were you nervous knowing that everything was going to be recorded?
Well, every gig anyway, every show, I'm always nervous. I think it's an anxious feeling, you know, because you want to just get on the stage, and it gives you this adrenaline rush. But yeah, I remember being very nervous. Yeah.
Well, I can bet it's not quite normal, I think. And okay, now we have a thing on the show that we usually ask bands and groups to tell us a song, okay, a special song to listen. So, from your first 3 albums, is there any song that you would like to listen to now?
Well, from the first 3 albums, so like The Joker. I would actually say there's a song, The Joker, because that was what really changed it all for us.
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful. So are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we. Joker, leave no home, and the fool sat on
these days, marked by MTV, fast food and fast music, where do you, a guy like you, your age, get your 60s and 70s inspiration from?
Always just loved that sound of music. Obviously, I grew up with that music, mainly blues as well. My parents, I was brought up just listening to this music, and so it's always been in my heart and in my head. And it's just music that I love it. I love the sound,
But
so it's just influenced the house.
I don't know, maybe some kind of clubs, I don't know, special bands? Where do you get it in general?
It was just Hendrix, that did it. Hendrix, Floyd, The Who, all these bands that really got me inspired, and Zeppelin, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and in 2010, A Million Dead Stars Away was released, and although by then you had already evolved as a group, you remained faithful to your origins.
Oh, yeah.
How did you manage that?
Well, because obviously we're a young band, we have modern influences as well. And one of the big bands that we really had looked up to was Cooler Shaker, how they could mix their psychedelic 60s vibe with a modern feel, a modern twist. And we've sort of approached the same thing, we want to keep our roots of the psychedelic rock, but also make it modern, bring it back, and make it appeal to my generation.
And in the following year, there was another live album, this time recorded in Spain, here at the Luna Lunera Fest. Your sound is great when you play live, and you like to share it in your albums, isn't it true?
Yeah, we like to have the energy, we like it to come across.
And that same year, you delivered your fourth album, The Third Floor. And
yes, that's right.
And for 3 consecutive years, which is rather unusual in your case, you didn't release any new recordings. Yeah. I imagine that with all your gigs, you couldn't keep up with the album per rhythm per year pace.
Yeah, we had a heavy tour schedule going on. In fact, we were that busy writing. When we wrote The Third Floor, we were writing it mainly on tour. We didn't have a lot of time at home. Basically, we were we were touring heavily, so that's why we couldn't really write a new album. And then obviously Control came out. Then we gathered inspiration for Control.
And now travel throughout Europe, but we have a question for you. Do you actually have time to visit the places where you go, or do you only get to see the venues where you play?
Basically, we see a bus, we see a hotel, we see a venue, and then after that it's dark, so you can't see anything. But to be honest, we have had some fantastic opportunities to see some amazing places, especially on our days off. We really like them. So we always try and make the effort to go out and take a look around wherever we are that day. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's the joys of touring.
Okay. And now a question for you. How is the rock and metal scene in the UK? Are there new great bands just like in the old good times?
There seems to be a bit of a revival going on. I've noticed, especially with the rock thing, the whole heavy riff-based rock. Mm-hmm. You got for example, like Royal Blood. They absolutely smashed it. And I've noticed that there's a big demand with concerts now, because live music really died in the UK. The whole music scene really disappeared, and it's making a comeback, which is great. There's so many shows going on. It's really cool at the moment.
Well, that's great. Many Spanish bands tell us that we have great bands here, but there aren't any concert goers, especially young people. How are things in the UK?
There is a lot of young people going to shows these days. Yeah, but it is very hard to motivate to get them going. To come to the shows. But when they do, they have a good time.
Well, I imagine. And so we've reached the year 2014, and you delivered your fifth album, Control. And in order to run through the history of the band, there's no better way than doing it than through their music. Which songs from this fifth album would you like to listen to now?
Wow. Well, for us, I think, it was because it was when we decided to work with a new producer and we were so excited with the album. There's a great concept behind it. I would go with Mute.
Mute?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got this feeling going on. Am I right or am I wrong? I have known it all along. I've got this feeling I found a way to control you. I found it on my TV where you bore me with your truth. I have so much fun watching your mouth open and close. 1 minute you lie, next thing you're on mute. I've got this
And we have seen you growing up. There was an evolution in your music, but You have also changed your dressing style. All of these
Yeah.
aspects help you emerging yourself on stage in the spirits of the 70s. Isn't that so?
Yes, that's so. Most definitely.
And now, when someone who doesn't know the Brew sees you for the first time, they usually come out from the concert saying that the drum solo was just amazing. Do you improvise your solos or do you rehearse them?
It's improvised.
Really?
Yeah. It's how you feel at that time. You do it. You know, the jams are always different every night. You know, you have rough arrangements, but it's basically improvised every night.
Oh, that's great. And another question, do you still use a violin bow with your guitar, or you've just run out of them? Because as far as we know, they don't usually last too long.
No, they don't. They like to break a lot, but we have plenty in our bus. So, yes, I do still use a violin bow. It's a great effect. It sounds fantastic. You know, it can be quite haunting. I like to use it. It works well in certain songs.
Slowly, we reach the present, and the present is called Shake the Tree, produced last year. And once more, it was well received by the critics. You actually read the reviews. Do they have any influence on you, or you just don't mind? Or is it a bit of both?
It's a bit of both. You know, it's always nice to see positive reviews, but we tend not to look into the critics side of it because it can sometimes really spoil your way of approaching the album or anything, you know, and the way you think. So we tend to just let the critics do the criticizing, and we'll make the music. But it's always nice to, you know, if the albums go down well and you get positive reviews, it's a good feeling because it's, you know, it's all our hard work gone into it and our hearts. So, you know, every musician can be affected by critics. But I think it's great.
Okay, now here in Spain, many people call you the kings of venues and the big names missing in festivals. Do you prefer it like that, or do you prefer to be closer to your fans in smaller venues?
I think it's like anything. I like both, really. Both environments have a different feel. Festivals I absolutely adore, you know, the big festivals, for the energy, the crowd are enthusiastic. It's just a good feeling. We love playing, you know, the big shows because it's nice to play in front of as many fans as we possibly can. But also, we do love a nice intimate club show, you know, where the audience is really in your face and the sweat's dripping from the ceilings. That's a good rock and roll show in my eyes. We like it all. We just love playing, to be honest.
Oh, that's cool. Now, not many people answer yes to this question, but to inspire our younger audience, do the Brew make a living out of their music?
Oh, yes, most definitely, yes.
Oh, that's so cool to hear that.
Yeah, we've since we released A Million Dead Stars, we became professional. And thankfully, thanks to the fans, you know, we're fortunate to do this for a living, yeah.
If you could take a DeLorean, like in Back to the Future, you know, the film, and if you could go back to 2005, what would you what your advice be to Jason at your studio, or wouldn't you say a thing?
I would just say relax.
Okay, that's a good advice.
Yeah. Relax and enjoy.
Now, from Shake the Tree, could you choose a song for us to hear?
I would say right now, seeing as though it's our latest single, it's going to be the title track of the album, Shake the Tree.
Shake the tree and make the fruit fall.
And for many, Shake the Tree is your best album. Do you agree?
Yeah. Well, I think every artist, when they release a new album or when they're writing new albums, they think it's the best thing they've written to that date. I love all the albums. In my eyes, because it marks a time and a period of like how we were feeling at that time as a band. And you can hear with Shake the Tree the fun in the album. I think it was just a great album to write and a great album to record. So, and I think it really comes across, the energy and the power in there.
And if you could choose a time and a band, where and with whom would you have the gig of your wildest dreams?
Oh, good gosh. That's a very good question, because that is hard. Oh, wow. Well, I'd love to go back to probably, let me think. That's really difficult. I would either go back to 1968, when Led Zeppelin 1 was released, and all the bands around the time, Cream. I'd love to have jammed with Cream and seen Hendrix play. And, oh, God, to be on the bill of, let's think, if you've got all these artists, you've got Zeppelin, The Who, and Hendrix on one lineup, that would be absolutely amazing.
Okay, yes, I know. This was a very difficult question. Now, we spoke to you before your incredible 8-gig tour come back to Spain, and this time you're playing at the same venue and at the same venues. Did you make friends on Spanish soil?
Did we make friends on Spanish soil?
Yeah. Did you manage to do some friends here?
Yeah. Well, we love it. It's just a great place. Great people, great food, great beer, great ladies. Absolutely amazing.
Now, I'm going to ask you something related to what you said with the beer. Now, thanks to promoters Gijón, who support and promote bands like the Brew, Vintage Caravan, Blackberry Smoke. It's not the first time that you're playing in Gijón. So the big question here is, have you tried our cider?
Yes, I have. In fact, we've had some very, very good parties in Gijón. When we've played some shows there, we've had some days off, so we've been able to hang out in the town and try delicacies, try the wines. Oh, yes.
Okay, did you like it?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Now, for those that do not know you, how would you define one of your concerts?
Well, heavy, powerful, lots of energy, fun. Well, the main thing that we like to come across is the power and the energy.
And apart from everything that we have already said, why shouldn't we miss your gig on the 4th of April, Tuesday?
Because you need to be woken up in Gijón on that night, don't you? You need to come down, hear some rock and roll. You need some rock and roll in your blood.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, is there anything that you have always wanted to say on the radio, but you have never had the opportunity, either because no one have asked you that or because you weren't allowed to?
No, not at all. We've always been able to express properly on the radio.
Okay, well, thanks a lot to you. It was a real pleasure to have you here with us. This was our first interview in English in 176 programs. We hope that this won't be our last one. And I must say that it really pleases me that you were the first ones. Before you go off air, we would like to... Which song would you like to leave us with?
From the Brew?
Yeah.
I would
Which
say
one?
Rewind. It's a brilliant song. Rewind.
Okay, so apparently that's it. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Brilliant.
To your
Thank
gig,
you very much.
and good luck for April as well in Gijón. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, I hope to see you down at the show.
Well, I'm a bit far, in fact. I'm in Salamanca. But
Oh,
it's
really?
okay. Yeah. But okay, have fun, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Bye-bye.
I did the best that I think I always could. Always loved the moment in which I stood. Kill the lights, pull the curtain, oh, eternal night. Rewind, rewind, and we just rewind, rewind. How do I turn back the time? How do I? Sometimes you've gotta take control.